Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for another episode, the MVM Show. I don't even know what episode number this is. We've been popping these things out, and Tom's Travis been over here a bunch, and we've been getting a lot of guests on, so it's been a good time. Appreciate your guys' support. A lot of new people in the last week or so have come onto the YouTube channel, the MVM Show YouTube, and watch the podcast there. But also, you can listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, all that good stuff. So anyways, we appreciate your guys' support. If you want to support in another way, if you do, and you feel like it, we also have merchandise. So we got hats. Thomas, and if you're watching on the YouTube channel, you can see Thomas and Travis are sporting the new leather patch hats, and I'm wearing the green one. We also have the hunting camo Mossy Oaks blades, and then we got hoodies like I'm wearing right now, and t-shirts too. So check that out, midvalleym.com. We appreciate it. All right, so today, listener, and if you're out there listening to this one, which I'm sure you are, you gave us this idea of doing a whole episode on the Shotkam. So, Travis, luckily, you got to use it there in Nebraska, so you do have an opinion on that too. But me and Tom's been using them for 2 years now.
Yeah.
So what is the Shotkam?
What is a Shotkam? Well, we'll get to that in a second.
Gotcha.
But we've been using this for 2 years. Travis has used it on a hunt, and it's only basically because it's always been on mine. Thomas's. I bought one, and then Shotkam gave us one to promote, and Thomas threw that on his, and we pretty much always hunt together. But since Travis went on that Nebraska hunt, took off Thomas's gun, put it on his, and he used it. So what a Shotkam is a camera. If you don't know what it is, which I think most that are listening to this probably do, but if you know what it is a device that mounts to the bottom of your barrel that lets you know where your misses are. That's really why they designed it. I've heard, I was going to have the owner on here too, but he designed this to where you could see where your misses were for trap and skeet. And it ended up working well for a game too. Why not, right? It's already recording. It's zoomed in. I think it might be like 4 power or something like that, 2 power. And then it slow-mos. It automatically records it in 120 frames per second or whatever, so it's a slow-mo. It's cool. You can link into your phone. You can look right then and there if you're with your buddies out in the field arguing who shot the bird, and we have used this a few times.
Definitely.
There's been times I thought I hit it and claimed I hit it, watched my Shotkam, I didn't, and there's times that someone else claimed it. I thought I did. They said it was theirs, and then could see they missed. So
I know where that would have worked really well.
Exactly. If they only would have made this like 6 years ago, that duck would be on my wall right now with the band on it. But anyways, he had the audacity the other day in a podcast. No, we're not going to. But he had the audacity. Wow, now where was I going with that? I was gonna. You interrupted me, and he totally made me lose my train of thought. I'll forget it. Anyways, so Shotkam. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of it. And I appreciate several have emailed this last week talking about how they appreciate our openness and honesty, whether sponsored by or not.
Do you have one?
What we think of. Yeah, I have one. What do you want to do with it?
I'm just saying for the video, maybe.
I can pop one up on the screen. I mean,
okay.
You can look it up. It's not really... whatever. It mounts to the bottom of your gun. Is it? Oh, it's not on my gun either. I took them all off when we traveled.
Who knows where it's at now?
I know where it's at. Don't you worry.
It's next to the band.
Yeah. Forever lost.
Yeah.
10-year-old band.
Forever lost.
This is why I drink these. I have to deal with you guys.
You know what? He's probably got a little chain around his neck and it's hanging down like... real low, you know, and we've never seen it.
Never takes it.
Find it.
High pressure.
Never takes it off. Showers with it.
Yeah, Frodo over here.
Yeah. No, Thomas is Frodo because he loses it. Or who was that lost the band?
No. Negative.
And they're just screaming
or whatever.
Smeagol.
That was Smeagol.
You're Smeagol.
Smeagol, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that.
So how much does a Shotkam
Don't mess up the
weigh?
I don't know the ounces. We can look. You want to look that up, Thomas?
Sure.
Let's look up the weight of that. But it is a little bit, it don't weigh much. Did you feel like it kind of asked you since you just used it recently for the first time?
As a newbie?
Do you feel like the weight of it, like did it feel real heavy to you on the front of your gun?
No, you know what? Actually, when you're there, you can feel a little bit of a difference. But when I was shooting, it wasn't something that affected my shooting.
Where did you mount it on your barrel?
Just a
I
standard
didn't.
position where we.
I would say about
we
I
moved
put it
it.
on for him.
upper 2/3.
See,
No,
I started
No?
putting
Middle?
it was towards the back.
I started putting it as close to the forend as I could, and honestly, you couldn't even feel it like at all.
The forend. You mean the front of the barrel?
No, your forend. Of
Yeah,
your
the foregrip.
shotgun.
You mean?
Foregrip, whatever.
Right. No, that's where his was at.
5.5 ounces.
So 5 ounces, 5.5 ounces. Not even 5.5.
5 ounces of bread is what it says. Is the equivalent. I don't know. That's on Shotkam site. That's what they
Okay.
say.
5.5. So what's? That's nothing.
Yeah. No,
I
it's not.
would think it was a
It's
little
not
heavier
even-
than that, but
Yeah.
so you didn't notice it at all.
Well, on
Not significantly, no.
the end of your barrel, you probably notice.
He
pretty
didn't
big
have it on
difference.
the
No,
end.
I know.
it
I'm
wasn't,
just
Oh, you're
saying.
it wasn't
saying,
on the end.
No. His was where you're saying the way you described it kind of threw me off a little bit. Front. What'd you say? Front end of the
forend,
forend.
forend, not foregrip, whatever.
Oh.
Where you put your left hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a standard place where you always put it, and that is something. Really didn't want to make this a over 30-minute podcast, but it probably could be if we just sit there and talk about things we liked about. Because have you had it mounted, Thomas, before to where you had a too far forward and you didn't like the feel of it?
Yeah, absolutely. When we first got it, we didn't know where to put it. First, we kind of had it a little too far forward. Then we moved it towards the center. I was like, oh, that's better. And then eventually moved it all the way back. And it doesn't affect the video at all because we were worried, like, oh, I wonder if it's going to get some of the barrel in the shot, but it don't. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, as far as that goes, the design is great as far as it's designed kind of, almost like a barrel of a shotgun kind of. It's kind of longer, like a tube. The mounting bracket that they use really works pretty well. It doesn't slip at all. It's got like a rubber on the inside, 2 screws that clamp down to your barrel. Don't hurt your gun at all. They got a little piece on the back that's waterproof where you can turn it off and on. And
I have
and charge
plunged that in the river multiple
it's
times
definitely gotten soaked.
underwater, and it's never stopped working.
As far as the waterproof, it seemed to work all right. I think, but
Rain hunts.
I think there was one that got some stuff behind the lens, though, right? One time,
I don't know.
didn't we send one back that had like fogging under the back of it?
Not that I remember.
No, okay, that was something else then. That was a different camera. But yeah. So as far as that design goes, it's pretty well made. I think there's a couple
It
things
is.
I think that could be better.
Yeah.
I think for
Battery.
one, I mean the video quality is good, but I think it could be better, don't you? Don't you think it could be a little sharper?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If you want to make it better, yeah.
Right. So
I'm trying to remember what the quality. I can't remember if it was. It might be 720. You have to look that up too.
Okay.
Obviously, guys, we don't know all the specs. We'll give it to you. I didn't really mean to get into details, but that would be a question people ask if you want to look it up.
Yeah.
But I meant to do this one more on what our thoughts are of it and our the pros and cons of it and like the negatives and the positives of it, basically. But Tom's at least, was given more details that you guys probably would know if you didn't know what it was. So yeah, it's a light little camera. To activate it, you bump the barrel, or not the barrel, but the butt of the gun or the gun, just kind of couple taps. It activates the camera, meaning it's not necessarily recording. It doesn't record until you shoot. But once you shoot, it goes back 5 seconds. So you got that as the bird's flying in, which is really cool because it's kind of weird. So it's like it's recording, but it doesn't save the 5 seconds back until you actually shoot. And then it will keep recording until you're done shooting. And then it saves it. So that's just if you guys were wondering.
So it does say it can do 1080.
Oh, okay.
But it's at 100 frames per second versus if you do it at 720, it's 180 frames
So
per second.
all that would do.
So it would just be a little faster. Your shot would be a little bit faster.
What do you mean?
Well, I guess I shouldn't say faster.
So
but it
higher
wouldn't be
quality
as clear, right?
is not 1080 at 100 frames per second is not going to be as slow, but it's going to be sharper. It won't be as slow-mo.
Right.
If you do 720
At 180.
at 180, it's going to be extra slow-mo, but the sharpness of the picture is not going to be as good.
Yeah.
I don't even remember seeing that. I'm going to have to go in and see what ours are set at. I think ours are set at 1080.
Maybe.
What would you rather have it at? Would you rather be able to see it slower with this less clear of a quality?
I think I'd rather have the 1080.
Me too.
I
I think ours is at 1080.
Mm.
I'm not sure. I'll have to check it though, because there's sometimes it looks really good, and then sometimes it does look a little pixelated.
Yeah. I think it's got to be lighting though too.
Low
It's
light,
probably-
it seems like it's a little bit more
probably,
pixelated.
It's really hard probably on the lighting because half the time it's terrible.
Yeah. On hunting, it's just in
Right.
general.
You're
Because
in-
if you watch them do
pointing-
their skeet or trap, it looks really good. But look at the lighting and look at the object you're aiming at.
Well, I mean, I think the hunting part of using Shotkam for hunting is harder on it than the trap. You know what I mean? Like for trap, there'd be no problem. Like this thing's work all day long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it works
Oh,
great for
yeah.
hunting too. It's just I think we put
Because
it
you know
through,
when you're going to shoot.
we put it through a little harder conditions. It's
Yeah.
way colder.
Colder.
Sometimes it's getting wet. We're pointed it. Bad
We're
lighting
activating
situation.
it, then letting it go standby, then activate. Because every time you think you're going to shoot, when you tap the gun, doesn't mean you're going to shoot a duck, right? Because maybe they're not going to decoy or they're just going to fly out or flare or whatever. So, I mean, what's your thoughts of the Shotkam traps? Just watching it and using it.
I like it in the future as far as using it in for what you guys are using it for video. I think it adds an extra level to the videos of interest, and it's always because as a hunter, I'm out there and I'm always. I think sometimes I shoot it instinctively, but I'm like, okay, where was my bead? When I miss, I'm like, where was my bead at? And I think that this is a great tool to see. If you're using it, you can say, because I think you're still going to be in that moment where you're just shooting. You're not thinking about, I got a shot cam on here, and
for sure.
aiming more. So I think it would, if you looked at it over a period of time, you could see, where your tendency to shoot is. What's your habit?
Mm-hmm.
And am I consistently shooting behind the bird? Am I shooting? Obviously, we know that most of the time you're not leading them too far. It's usually you're not leading them enough.
Yeah.
Or you're just not on them. Maybe you're too high or too low or whatever. So I think it would be a great tool to see where your tendency is to shoot and what your habit is.
Yeah.
But I like it as far as the video aspect of it. I just like it because it added a feature to see, okay, where was this? Where were you at when you hit the bird?
Right.
And so I think I kind of consciously look at it like, okay, I need to have the bead about right here when I'm shooting. But you can't tell how far that bird is either in the video, because it's magnified, it's closer. But you kind of just get an idea of like, okay, this is about where you aim.
How much of it was a nuisance to you to use?
None at all. You know what I'm saying? Because you see the birds coming, it's not that hard just to tap your gun to activate it. So that it wasn't a hindering feature of it to activate that way. I mean, it's better than having a switch that you have to turn on to shoot.
Right.
So it's neat that they were able to do that by, I don't know, they do it vibration or whatever that it activates the camera.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm sorry if we've kind of bounced around a little bit, but let's try to get methodical now for you guys listening, because I know it can probably be frustrating when guys are bouncing around. So let's stick to, as best we can, the pros of it. So Thomas, want to go name a pro to you?
Yeah, used as a training tool, just like Travis said. Like, there's sometimes when you miss, and it's like so frustrating. Like, how did I miss, or where did I shoot? How you want to relive that moment. Well, a shot cam gives you that luxury of reliving and seeing where you shot. What you did wrong.
Mm-hmm. And if
So
you have
it's
your
a
phone,
great-
you could do that instantly, right?
Instantly, yeah. So that's part of it too. It's Bluetooth. You can Bluetooth it to your phone. Watch it on your iPhone. It's a nice screen. You can see great what you did, and so that to me that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the biggest part to me, because I got it more for I would say 50% of me wanted it for the video of it and how cool that is to watch that, and the other 50% is where am I missing?
Yeah.
Because we've talked about, you guys all said it, I'm just reiterating my thoughts on it too, is it's so frustrating when you're missing and you're like, where am I missing? And so one of the pros to me is I feel like it has made me a better shooter, because I see my tendency is to shoot over the bird. I feel like I actually, believe it or not, I feel like I actually shoot more over the bird than I do behind it. And I feel like I don't shoot behind it much anymore is because of the Shotkam that I've realized all my pattern was always going behind. Everybody misses behind.
Yeah.
Everybody misses behind, dude. If you're missing birds, more than likely you're missing behind. Because I've said this so many times before in hunt videos or whatever, you can't lead the bird enough. You have to literally force your brain to think, I'm going to shoot so far in front of it, I'm going to miss. And most of the time, you're going to end up being spot on because your brain and your body function still wanting to come back in close for the bird. So anyways, I do miss behind. It's not that I don't ever do, but I would say now that I start fixing my lead, if anything, I might shoot a little over top, but that was more of a point issue with the bead on my gun. It was shooting high, so I fixed that. I put a different bead on that so it would drop my aim, and I think that's gonna even wrap it up even more for me. Another pro, I believe, of the Shotkam is it can last. I'm trying to get super detailed on this before we jump into the negatives. It can last a long time if you don't leave it in standby mode. So there's a standby mode where it's on and it's blinking green, and then when you bump it, it turns solid green and it's actually ready for you to shoot. If you turn the Shotkam off and you wait till you see a bird and you think you're going to shoot and you click it on, it'll last several hours that way because you're conserving. You're not having the camera just on in standby mode. So you can get a long day out of it if you want to deal with that, but you are going to have to push that button every time.
So on standby mode, typically, how long do you think that lasts? If you had it on standby at the start of a hunt, how long would that last?
Well, that would be, I would bring that into the negative section of it.
Okay.
That's why I'm trying to sit here and stay to the positive. I don't think we can spend a whole lot of time on it because you already covered. You can go back and see where your misses are. So that's a positive.
It's an attitude. What you're doing.
You got the memory of you shooting at it and seeing that bird crumple, just the kind of entertainment of that. What would you say another pro is? I know it sounds like we're having a hard time finding it. It's not that.
Ease of use. I mean, it is
dude,
easy to
use.
That's a positive.
Yeah, it's a positive. It can take abuse. It can be dunked under the water. It can be rained on all day. And we've never had any issues.
Design, the make of it.
Lightweight.
It's lightweight. It's rechargeable. It mounts on your gun in a matter of a minute, or take it off in a minute. Don't hurt your gun.
We've had them for 2 years.
Yeah.
One of them. Okay, we'll talk about that in the negative.
Yeah.
What happened? Oh, their warranty is, I will give them this as bar none, very good. You have an issue with it, it won't turn on because, you spend that much money, and we'll bring that up in the negative too, the cost of it. But you spend that much money on something, it better stinking last, right? You better have someone to back it up. If something goes wrong with it, it better get fixed, right? They're incredible at that. I've sent a few back. We'll get to that in a second. And there's never been questions asked. You package it up, that's prepaid, you send it in, they'll get it back to you in a couple weeks, which doesn't do you a whole lot of good in the middle of duck season. So there can be an issue there. It's possible they could send you a replacement. They'll work with you. You just need to talk to them. I know most of the people down there at Shotkam. We're not, and by the way, guys, we're not sponsored by them. We're not partnered with them, nothing.
Where are they based out of?
Florida.
Oh, okay.
I think. I believe it's
I
Florida.
don't remember.
Yeah. They shoot a lot of tree ducks and stuff, don't they?
Oh, okay.
So, all right. It's probably going to have to be a little bit longer than 30 minutes, but let's just go ahead and jump into the cons, the negatives of it. Go ahead, Thomas. Name your first one.
My biggest one, and it might be the biggest negative, is the battery. The battery life is always...
If it's in standby mode.
I guess I shouldn't say always is an issue, but it's the main issue. Sometimes, we're lucky here it don't get extremely cold in California, but the times we went out of state and it was really cold, like, 10, 20 degrees, whatever, the battery on the Shotkam was basically non-existent. Like, it didn't work at all. So that's...
What are you specifically talking about?
Kansas.
But when you say non-existent, like it didn't turn on?
No, like it charged overnight, turn it on in the morning and it was already to the point where it would just be blinking and then go red, turn off.
But didn't we figure out that was an issue with the Shotkam itself? Because mine wasn't having an issue.
Oh, well, maybe it was that Shotkam.
We sent that one in and got another one.
But that goes back to, what does that go to? The battery or what? What's it go to? Because
it goes to something.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying I don't think we can never say that dialed into the battery. I'm not disagreeing with you saying the battery's not bad. When you leave it on in cold weather, I agree. It's gonna go fast.
To me, you shouldn't have to turn it off.
No, I agree with you. But what I'm saying is, I had mine and mine didn't do that.
Oh, okay. So maybe that was just the faulty Shotkam.
Well, that's why I think we realized.
So backstory: how many Shotkams did we send back? 2?
Mm-hmm.
Over the course of 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And
one was
what was the longest one that lasted?
2 years. I still have the original one. It was
Are
the
you
one.
sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got another one, the free one. Something went wrong with it. I don't remember. It was probably that one. We sent it back, and then the battery again. And it wasn't the same one because they replaced it. Remember, like, we need one right now. Like we bought this before this trip. We need it right now. And that was on Wisconsin, wasn't it? When we wanted them on the. Was that both of ours, or did we only have one at the time? In Wisconsin, I think we only had one.
We didn't have any in Wisconsin.
I did. I remember now. That was then. See,
well,
that was
you
frustrating.
You had it, but it didn't work.
Yeah. And what was the issue? Do you remember? It just wasn't. It was coming on, bunch of blinking, and would go right off.
Yeah.
That was. I was really frustrated about that because that was like a bucket list hunt
on your old squall hunt.
Yeah. And footage that was I wanted in my videos and didn't have one single drop spinning. Okay, here's the next con, $600.
Yeah,
$650.
It's almost something like when you got it. If you would have had the time, and sometimes you don't always have the time. Because take it out there and use it. Of course, you can't replicate the elements, but take it out there and shoot it beforehand and make sure that things working before you go on your trip like that.
Yeah.
I mean, in retrospect, but you expect it brand new out of the box. It's going to function correctly,
right?
See, and that's why you're saying you still have the original, but the original stopped working on you in Wisconsin.
Well, they fixed it and sent it back.
So they sent the same one back. Yeah. Okay.
But I guess so it could be they could have gutted it and put something else in there. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, which goes back to the warranty though. That is a great thing that. At least they'll fix it, you know what I mean? Because
they've never charged me for fixing it.
I'm sure not every one of these you're going to have an issue with, And so if they're willing to fix it, at least you know that your money's not going to be thrown away if you get a bad one,
Right. And that pro kind of helps outweigh that. So your money's safe because if it did go kaputs and they didn't do a warranty, they would be getting some seriously bad raps.
In Kansas that you had no issue. How were you working it and how long did your battery last?
Oh, that's what I was trying to tell you. I wasn't disagreeing with you because I know it doesn't last long. And it should last longer in standby mode for sure, especially spending that much money. I think it was only lasting like an hour or two.
Okay.
I mean, that kind of is you say non-existent. I just take it as it didn't work at all, which yours didn't.
Yeah,
right?
Mine didn't work at all.
You didn't work, period, yeah. And I think that was another issue is all I was saying. Because it was very limited. And I don't mind hitting the button, but a lot of people aren't going to like that.
No.
You don't want to have that.
No.
Deal with that.
Well,
it's not hard to do, but
it's not, but it goes.
But that's not what it was in the advertisement, right? You're supposed to just be able to do this.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, so you have off, you got standby mode, and then you have where it will record. And what Titus is talking about is he'll actually leave it off until a bird's working or whatever, and then he'll hit the button. You have to hit the button on the Shotkam, and then it'll stay.
Turns it on.
It'll turn on, and then it'll stay where it can record for
30 seconds.
Is it 30 seconds?
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll go into standby mode, and that's just to save battery life. And what you have to do to get it out of standby mode is either hit the button again or to kind of tap your gun. And then now from that point, it turns back on. It'll be where it can record. So like if you tap it on and then 2 seconds later you shoot a bird, it's going to get from when you tapped it to, after the shot. But to me, that's kind of like, I wish you didn't have to do that. You know what I mean?
To extend the life.
Like, I wish you could just turn it on and leave it.
And not have to ever tap it?
I mean, that would be the best. But
to not tap it?
Right.
Right. No, I agree. I get sick of hearing us tap it in the videos. It's kind of everyone.
Yeah.
Someone was making fun of everybody with Shotkam saying, "Oh, I thought you have to tap your gun before you shoot," because they hear so many YouTube guys tapping their guns for.
Yeah, I mean, what I just started doing is hitting the button again because I don't like doing that. I don't like moving my hand around and hearing a loud sound.
And that's a negative of it.
That is
the sound for the birds to hear you, because I've already said that, how good birds can hear. People, I don't get guys in the duck blind, blah, 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 loud when there's birds working. I don't get that, right? Birds can hear you. They have incredible hearing. That's why you call, right? So I don't like that you're making that noise like Tom said, but also the movement.
Yeah, hitting it with your hand.
Your hand going like this.
I'm just saying, everything is like, what if there was some way you could have like a little wire run into your, foregrip.
Little button.
Just push a button. It turns it on.
You know what? That's actually a thought they could probably think about. I mean, honestly, they could come right out of that shot cam and you just go like that.
Yeah, where it turns it on. You just push, you know what I'm saying? Like you can just run and just like push a little button.
Not a bad thought at all. It's still with a little sticky or something, or a magnet. Honestly, if it had just a little magnet.
But that'd have to be on your barrel because your foregrip is going to be synthetic.
No. It could be right there. It could be right there on your
receiver. That's true.
I'm just thinking I don't know.
Whatever.
There's different thoughts.
It is a good thought. Actually, it's a really good thought. Might be something to pass on to them. But yeah, the flashing of your hands, if you're not wearing gloves or don't have your hands covered up black or whatever, I really believe that sound or the moving of my hands to activate that has flared birds before.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a no-go.
Because the thing is, if you don't tap it hard enough, it won't turn on.
Yeah, we've had that happen.
And we've had that happen before.
But
you hit your gun, and then it never even turned on.
And you thought it was like the most epic shot. You're like, this is going to be so cool. You go back there, and it's not recorded.
Yeah.
You can change the sensitivity, guys. So you can go in there. There's a lot of things you can do. You can go in there and set it for like skeet, trap, birds, rabbits. I think there's all kinds of crazy stuff in there that you can set the settings for. Turkey, where it is constantly recording, but then you have all that recorded though as soon as you turn it on. But you can go in there and you can set sensitivity to where when you do tap it, it kicks on a little bit easier. But another negative.
You were stuck in the price. You said price, but you didn't elaborate on price.
What are they listed for right now?
I'll check it up right now.
I think it's 600. There is 6 or 650, but there is people right now I think that have some codes you can get 10-15% off, but whatever. It's still high.
650.
Okay. If you were to ask me, I'll say it first. Okay, think of a number in your head what you think that shot cam should be worth. I'll say mine right now. If I'm going to be fair to them as a company to try to make money, and I know there's a lot of stuff that goes into that because it is a high quality piece of equipment in a little piece of equipment. Like there's a lot going on in that little thing. And for the quality, if I was to say, I would say if they just dropped it down to play with this a little bit, $450.
That's
Is that
exactly
the exact
what
number
I
you're
thought.
gonna say?
Exact number.
I don't know if did you have a number in your head?
No, I mean, because as I think I gotta look at it from a different perspective than what you would look at it as, because you're using it as a tool for your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And me most guys don't have YouTube channels, so the average hunter that was gonna go out there and purchase one just to purchase one, I'd be like,
no thanks.
I don't need it. So I'd be like, I don't need to spend that much money to see where I'm shooting as an everyday just hunter. It's a different perspective than what you would.
Yeah, you're never gonna buy one at $650, right?
Never.
Okay, and honestly, that's a lot of people's opinion about it, and I think that's a fair opinion. If I wasn't doing it for it to add to my channel,
yes,
I probably wouldn't have never did it either.
Yeah,
to be honest with you. But it does add a lot, and I do, and I'm glad I have it now. I mean, maybe I would later. I'm like, you know what, this is worth it. I don't know, but if they did $450, I feel like their sales would double. Like I legitimately think their sales would double if they were selling them for $450, even though that's still a lot of money.
Yeah,
I just feel that way because there's so many people they're not just being rude and saying, oh, I would have a shot cam, but ain't no way I'm paying $650. That's a car payment. That's a 2020 vehicle payment almost that you're going to spend for a nice $60,000 truck.
That's a third of a gun.
I mean, yeah, that could be one gun. So I don't know what it costs to make. Nothing ever costs as much as people try to make it sound like. And I'm not picking on Shotkam, but any company, right?
Any product.
Markup is insane. Insane. I don't know where they're getting their parts from. I don't know if they're getting them from China or where they're getting them from. But we just all know, if you know anything about that kind of stuff, the markup is ridiculous. Like, I'm sitting here selling hats and shirts and stuff, and I'm like, man, I feel bad. I'm making $5 on this. I almost feel guilty. Like, it's like, dude, that I ain't basically making nothing. Mm-hmm. The effort and time that it spends to do all that kind of stuff, I ain't making nothing but it's cool to have my brand out there. But you're talking about these guys, and I'm not saying these guys as in Shotkam, but any big company, their markup is so ridiculous. They're making 100, 200, 500% profit. So,
well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure that if they have a place where they're shipping out of, things like that, employees, they have to be able to make a certain margin of profit for it to be profitable. But you have to be able to, no matter what the product is, your audience has to be able to purchase those. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I mean, you have to look at like how many am I going to sell? Legitimately, how many am I going to sell? And who's going to use it? So I think I guess it would depend on your target audience. So you're trying to get that product too.
If you're this person, the company selling it.
Yeah, no matter who it is, right?
Yeah,
it has to meet that price range where.
Well, let me ask you
your target audience is going to afford it.
This is my opinion, for whatever that's worth, but every person's different. Every company is different. Well, would you rather sell 100 shot cams at $650, or would you rather sell 500 at $450? Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you're looking at it in a marketing perspective, to where do you want quantity or do you just want profit? Like, and limit your basis of customers.
No, I see what you're saying.
I don't know. I'm like getting it out there, and then maybe raising the price as you see that. I don't know. It's just.
No, I feel like the 450 is a little more accurate. I mean, and even if it worked better, okay, then I'd be happier. I'd be more okay with the higher price. Like if the battery was a lot better, if they updated their battery, then to me it would make it a lot more worth it. You know what I mean? Or even if they can make it so good where you don't have to tap it every single time, And then you have to think about they made this for like skeet and trap. So that's not an issue, And then they're like, oh, it can work for hunting too, but to make it better for hunting, you wouldn't have to do that. So,
and you might get more guys that are, skeet trap, maybe willing to spend that money, and that may be their primary target audience. I don't know. Some of those guys get all into that stuff.
No,
man.
I know, and they're like Harrison's. He's like went to nationals and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean at that level, but not most. I would say majority of them aren't doing that unless they're in competition.
Well, I mean, think about it. If you had a coach, had a trap team or whatever, a coach could buy one and put it on whoever's gun to help train them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not,
I guess it just depends on who their primary target audience is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, as a business, that's like you said, their target audience may be.
I would say it's
40,
definitely
50,
the best gun-mounted camera there is.
Oh yeah,
by far.
I haven't used a Tacticam, so I can't say, but the quality of it didn't look that good.
The Tacticam don't look that great.
That's my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just saying.
The quality of it just didn't look that good. The fact that it records the 5 seconds prior to the shot is awesome too, because just watching that bird, just like that one I posted you shot that mallard, come in kind of quartering right at you. It's just so it's just fun watching the bird come in like that, let alone before you even shoot,
Yeah. I mean, because that's what you remember, right? Like I can remember certain birds I shot 5 years ago, the right before and then the shot and all that. And that's exactly what you're getting in video form, So it is awesome all around. I mean, it's an awesome thing. If you know,
I would still stand by and say, if you want one, get it. You're not going to have any regrets.
I mean, if you know you're going to be hunting for a long time, it's like you're going to get so much use out of it, you know? So I would definitely say it's worth buying for sure.
Yeah.
And to what you guys brought up, I mean, you guys are primarily using it for duck hunting, but you mentioned turkey. I think that'd be really cool. But with turkey too, you know, you don't want to be slapping your hand on your gun to turn it on.
No. Right. Exactly.
There was, regardless, there's going to be movement. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I used it for the turkey.
But going back, if you had that push button thing, if you already got your gun up and you could just push a button on on your forend, man, to turn that thing on.
Because all it is a little push button to turn
like a pin.
on.
Something in ballpoint pin, just like dink.
Yeah. No, that really is a good idea. I can't remember on the turkey. I used it on a turkey hunt on one of our videos. And I can't remember. I think once you turn it on, it's on.
Oh, okay.
And it's like it's recording, but it will record for quite a long time. Like if you know you're going to shoot that bird within 30 minutes, you're good.
30 minutes? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
But then it's going to probably die after that. Like I can't remember the time length, but I shot that one with the Shotkam and I had turned it on and then didn't move anymore because he was coming in.
Yeah.
So it definitely will work where you're not having to slap it or do none of that. That's more for flying birds.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, we can end it here, but cons, I really can't. I'm trying to think of any more. Oh, one thing you might want to pay attention to if you do buy one is charging it. When you do charge it, I would suggest not using the charger. What do you call it? The actual charger, the little hub where you plug the cord into.
Like the little port or whatever it is?
The little box that...
Yeah, whatever that thing is that actually plugs on the wall. I would not use what they send you because to me, it doesn't have enough juice that it outputs in that to charge your Shotkam in a timely manner. Like if you go buy like a Belkin or something from Amazon, like a charger deal or any other brand that's kind of a stronger one, and you plug it in, you'll charge your Shotkam in like an hour or two, couple of hours, fully charged.
Wow.
Because I know we did that. Remember, we charged ours. You didn't know it, but I had plugged them in. We went to Matt's, came back, they were fully charged.
Oh, okay.
Before, when we use a cheaper one that they send, it'd go all night, and it still was blinking.
Oh, okay.
Because it will go solid when it's fully charged. So, anyways, there's probably more that we could talk about or say about the Shotkam offhand. I don't know what that means, but forend.
Travis just said it after I did.
Did he?
Yeah. I think it is a forend, isn't it? Or is it a foregrip? We need to know this.
I thought it was the forend.
That's what I thought.
Well, the forend of the
Butt
gun.
stock forend.
But I don't know. The way you said it just totally threw me off.
The way I said forend?
Yeah, you were like the forward of the forend or somehow.
No, I said closer to the forend of the gun.
Okay.
Which I guess could sound like the end of the barrel.
Yeah. Is that what you took it as?
No, I mean, I knew what he meant.
Yeah.
But I knew what you meant too.
That's just me and Thomas's communication skills that we're still working on.
Comment on you
arguing
guys
over
on
a
what
word.
do you call it?
Hey, guys, give us a rating review on iTunes. Even if you listen on something else, you guys have been doing that. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's been growing leaps and bounds. And it's all thanks to you guys for supporting. It is. So you guys have a good one. We'll see you on the next one.